Hello, my dear friends. I'm Dr. Evelyn. As always, it is a pleasure to spend this precious time talking with you. For me, the friends who follow this channel, those of you over 50 who have lived a full life and are now seeking peace and well-being, you are my greatest inspiration. Today, we're going to talk about blood pressure, the silent killer, and the small tool we put all our faith in, the home blood pressure monitor. I've worked with thousands of older patients throughout my career, and I've realized something profound. As we age, managing blood pressure is not just a medical requirement. It is an act of self-care, an affirmation that we want quality of life, that we want to see our children and grandchildren thrive. Have you ever walked into my clinic anxiously, telling me, "Doctor, my blood pressure at home is 145. It's too high," only for me to measure it with the professional equipment and the number is 128? This difference is not random. It often lies in 8 subtle mistakes, the small habits we repeat every day. I want you to set aside all rush, sit down, and listen. This is not a medical lecture. It is a sincere sharing from someone who has experienced and witnessed the stories of many who came before us. My friends, blood pressure is a living number. It dances with our emotions, our breath, and even our unconscious actions. If we measure it carelessly, that number loses its meaning. Let's start with the foundation of trust. Group 1. Preparation mistakes. How to trust the device. 1. Not validating the blood pressure device. I want you to imagine this. You just bought a brand new monitor. You trust it to be your health compass. But have you ever checked if that compass is pointing north correctly? One of my older patients, Mr. Thomas, 78, was almost debilitated because his home blood pressure readings were always alarmingly high. He had self-adjusted his diet and exercised excessively out of fear. When I asked him to bring his machine in, we compared. His machine read up to 15 millimeters of mercury higher than mine. This is the foundational mistake. Electronic devices can drift out of calibration over time or right from the factory. Take your device to your doctor at least once a year or immediately after purchasing it to compare the readings. Only when you validate the device can you truly trust the data it provides. 2. Using a cuff that is too small or too large. We can't use a child's glove to fit an adult hand, and the cuff is the same. The size of the cuff determines the accurate compression on the artery. If the cuff is too small, it will compress too tightly, giving a falsely high reading. If the cuff is too large, it won't compress enough, giving a falsely low reading. Use a tape measure to check the circumference of your upper arm and cross-reference it with your device's manual. This is a physical detail, but it is physiologically decisive. Group 2. Posture mistakes, body position in space. 3. Arm position is not level with the heart, the most critical. This is the mistake I see most commonly in older adults. They measure while sitting on the sofa with their arm relaxed and dangling on their lap. The heart pumps blood at a certain pressure. If your arm is lower than your heart, gravity will cause blood to pool, making the device read a falsely high number. Conversely, if your arm is raised too high, the machine will read lower. The fix. When measuring, whether at home or in the clinic, always support your arm so that the cuff is level with your heart. Use a pillow, a box, or a table to support your arm. 4. Incorrect posture and positioning. Have you ever felt rushed when measuring? Sitting down and crossing your legs immediately, or wrapping the cuff right after walking in the door. Crossing your legs is not just about comfort. It physically tenses muscles and constricts blood vessels in your legs, pushing pressure upward. Sit up straight, Lean back against the chair and place both feet flat on the floor. It is a posture of peace, not of haste. 5. Measuring over thick clothing. This is a story of minor laziness that causes major consequences. Many people simply roll up a thick shirt or sweater and wrap the cuff over that layer of fabric. The fix: that layer of fabric creates an uneven cushion. It alters the pressure the machine is pumping. Always take your sleeve off and place the cuff directly on your skin. Simple is best. Group 3. Timing and state of mind. Mistakes, warnings and habits. 6. Talking, texting, or failing to remain still. Our blood pressure is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. When you talk, even briefly, or when you are distracted by your phone, you are introducing a slight stress into that system. Ms. Helen, 65, always measured while watching the morning news. The news, good or bad, made her fidget. When she switched to measuring after 5 minutes of meditation or listening to soft music, her average blood pressure dropped immediately. The fix: sit quietly and rest for 5 minutes before measuring. This is the quiet time your body needs to return to its baseline state. Take 3 deep breaths. Treat blood pressure measurement as a short meditation ritual. 7. Measuring immediately after activity or using stimulants. Coffee is a love for many, but caffeine is a powerful vasoconstrictor. Exercise is wonderful, but it temporarily raises heart rate and blood pressure. Warning: never measure your blood pressure immediately after drinking coffee, smoking, or exercising. You are measuring a temporary peak result, not your foundational blood pressure. If you love coffee, measure before your morning cup. If you love morning exercise, measure before you put on your running shoes. If you must measure after activity, wait at least 30 minutes for your body to fully regulate. Group 4. Data mistakes: the authenticity of the number. 8. Mistake: only taking a single reading blood pressure is a constantly flowing river, not a still lake. The fix: always measure 2 or 3 times, waiting 1 to 2 minutes between readings. Record all the numbers and take the average. If there is a large discrepancy between the first and second readings, take a third. This way, you eliminate the impact of the first inflation on the blood vessels. My dear friends, I have shared 8 crucial points, but the most important thing I want you to take away is not the technique, but the philosophy behind the action. We have lived half our lives, and now is the time we must respect our bodies the most. When you take 5 quiet minutes, sit up straight, and carefully level your arm with your heart to measure blood pressure, you are doing more than just getting a number. You are establishing an authentic relationship with your own health. You are telling your doctor, this data is reliable. We can work together to make the best decision. Healthcare is not a race. It is a journey of endurance. Begin that journey with the smallest, most accurate habits. Remember, consistency is key. Measure at the same time every day using the same arm. Record it. Keeping a blood pressure log is a wonderful way for you and your doctor to identify trends rather than just looking at a random number. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the caution and respect it deserves. Take care of yourselves, keep smiling, and keep your hearts healthy. I'll see you in the next video.